Raphinha is the front runner for the Ballon d'Or right now, ahead of Mo Salah, Harry Kane, Kylian Mbappe, the list goes on, and I say that with my whole chest. I say that with a Real Madrid jersey behind me. How is that for an unbiased take?
Shocking.
Now, I definitely think it's too early to be saying who should actually win the Ballon d'Or because there's a lot of football to be played, trophies have to be won, and clearly these individual performances have to continue to shine. But at this moment in time, Raphinha has simply blown me away. And I don't care what name you throw at me right now, they do not surpass Raphinha. Barcelona fans, welcome! Can we be friends now? Look at us! Look at us getting along and being on the same side of things. There is a first time for everything.
Give me a hug, brother.
Welcome to the Caroline Salami Show. Barcelona fans, Liverpool fans, fans of football, you're always all welcome here. And we're about to get into it. I have another take ready, and this show is dedicated to the Ballon d'Or, and particularly Raphinha versus Mo Salah. Like I said, and I want to be very clear on this before we get into everything, it is too early to determine who should actually win the Ballon d'Or. But right now, in this moment in time, there is a clear front runner. And I know by now I have triggered a large amount of Liverpool fans, my dad included. So I want to say two things before we get into it. One, Liverpool fans, I know a lot of you follow me. Thank you for being here. I actually was genuinely sad when you guys were eliminated from the Champions League because I wanted to watch my dad watch his team lift the Champions League trophy. So I'm sorry for that. Two, I actually genuinely wanted Salah to win the Ballon d'Or. My husband is Lebanese. I think Salah winning the Ballon d'Or would be huge representation in football and the Arab community. And in my opinion, it would be great to see Salah, after the season he's been having, win that Ballon d'Or. But, and I say this with the utmost respect, aside from everything Salah has been doing in the Premier League, having one of the most incredible seasons of his career, absolutely putting numbers up in the Premier League, Liverpool bulldozing the Premier League, the best league in the world. All of that is undeniable. I see it, I understand it, and I respect it. But there would be times where I'd be sitting there really thinking about this Ballon d'Or conversation and the Mo Salah conversation, and something just didn't feel right. So I'd sit there and think to myself, what is missing? For me personally, that doesn't have me 100% committed for Salah to win that Ballon d'Or. And it was simple. It came down to one thing that I needed from Mo Salah, and it needed to happen in the Champions League. And that is an impactful, game-changing moment or goal where he had to put Liverpool on his back to get them across a line. Just like Mo Salah has done in the Premier League. I needed to see that in the Champions League.
That's fair.
And again, no disrespect, but what we saw from Salah in the group stages with Liverpool, where Liverpool absolutely smashed the group stages of the Champions League, top of the table. But he scored 3 goals in the group stages, one against Ballon, one against Lille, and a penalty against Girona. And that's great. But am I the only one sitting here thinking, okay, when you consider the caliber of teams and the caliber of player that Salah is and the season he's having, that we might have expected just a little bit more from him than 3 goals in the group stages? Am I the only one?
You're not alone.
But then Liverpool advanced into the round of 16 with ease. And I just knew that Mo Salah would deliver for 2 reasons. One, this is a very talented, very underrated PSG team. In my opinion, the best PSG team we may have ever seen. And 2, considering Salah's season, he has to show up for Liverpool, and now is the time. And what happened next? Mo Salah didn't deliver 1 goal or 1 assist in both legs. What also happened is that Nuno Mendes took Salah and put him in his back pocket in both legs. I know that that's harsh to say, but we have to talk about reality. We have to talk about the facts. And here they are. Mendes held the highest rating across PSG's entire backline in both matches against Liverpool, and he won 19 out of 23 ground duels and 13 tackles across 2 legs, again holding Salah without a goal contribution across 220 minutes. 200 220 minutes of football? I beg your pardon? A player that at that moment in time was considered the winner by a mile of the Ballon d'Or can't record a goal or an assist in 220 minutes of football?
Yikes.
And by the way, this is the biggest shout out to Nuno Mendes, one of my favorite, most underrated players and left backs in football. Because at 22 years of age, he took Mo Salah, who's having, again, a Ballon d'Or season, and completely took him out of not only one match, but two. And that deserves a shout out, that deserves the flowers, that deserves the praise, because what he did was nothing short of incredible for PSG defensively. And on the flip side, I'm sorry to say this, but very disappointing from Mo Salah in the Champions League, in the round of 16 where your team can face elimination, in a season where your team has the potential to win a treble, in a season where you have the potential to win a Ballon d'Or. The sky is the limit for Mo Salah and Liverpool. And 220 minutes are going to pass you, and you can't score a goal or have an assist? I'm sorry. I think Mo Salah is an excellent footballer. I really like Mo Salah. But that is unacceptable.
Not wrong.
3 goals, 4 assists in 10 Champions League matches. Answer this right now for me. Does that scream Ballon d'Or winner to you? Be honest. I know it's a tough pill to swallow, especially for us football fans who appreciate and love Mo Salah, but he had chances in the match that he had to finish, chances that his competitors for this award would have scored, chances that if he scored, it would have given Liverpool that push forward, chances that are unacceptable to miss. And that is the reality of Mo Salah in the round of 16 against PSG. And quite honestly, this is where Raphinha comes in for me. The new founder of Benfica, because can you believe that Barcelona have played Benfica 3 times in the Champions League this year, and Raphinha has scored 5 freaking goals against them?
I'm not surprised.
And my friends, it's not just about the goals with Raphinha. It's the context of which he scores these goals in. That 96th minute game winner against Benfica, he already had a goal at that moment in time. But to score the way he did, again, 96th minute, put Barcelona on his back. The way he had that run with the ball, the way he capitalized on that opportunity, the way he put the ball in the back of the net still lives rent-free in my mind. I'm pretty sure till my last day, I'll be thinking about that moment. That's what was missing for me with Mo Salah, the heroic moment, the moment that would cause scenes in the Champions League, scenes for Liverpool, a moment where we're like, oh shit, yeah, that award is clearly Salah's. There's no other person to win that award but Mo Salah. We've seen him do it in the Premier League, but why can't he convert that into the Champions League? That link is what was missing for me. But back to Raphinha. Now Barcelona meets Benfica in the round of 16 again. What are the odds? I don't know. Poor Benfica and their fans. But what happens? Raphinha's the hero again. Kubarsi gets a red card in the first leg in the first 22 minutes of the match. And this is no denying that Szczęsny and Pedri both had incredible matches. But who was the player to get Barcelona over the line? Who was the player to score the only goal of the match? Raphinha. Let's be honest, if not for Raphinha, that match is finishing in a draw. And again, like I said, he has a strong cast around him. He has a strong team around him. But when push comes to shove, Raphinha does what he needs to do individually to help Barcelona either get the points they need, advance, or win the game. And now we just watched the second leg between Barcelona and Benfica. And he scores a brace because why the hell not? Why wouldn't he? It's Raphinha. It's what he does. 11 goals in 10 Champions League games. Are you kidding me? Does that sound normal to you? He is now the highest scoring Brazilian in a single Champions League season. Now that sounds like a Ballon d'Or winner to me. That sounds like a Ballon d'Or front runner to me. But my favorite part of all of this is when you actually say that out loud to the masses, you'll get football fans who say, oh, but Barcelona was playing Benfica, and that's not the same as Salah playing PSG because PSG is so much better. I'm sorry, Pardon me? Did you not see Raphinha score a hat trick against Bayern Munich? Bayern Munich in the Champions League, one of the best clubs in the Champions League. Or how about the goal he scored against Dortmund, who was in the Champions League final not too long ago? What's the rationale there? And by the way, Raphinha against Benfica to score that game winner, for Barcelona to come back 5-4 after they were trailing 3-1 in a Champions League is never easy. I don't care what team you're playing against. In the Champions League, that is not an easy feat. And maybe, just maybe, it's time for the world to realize it's not the opposition that's poor. It's just that Barcelona is that freaking good.
Mind's blown. You're welcome.
Raphinha's been doing it all year long. In La Liga, scoring goals against Real Madrid, and in the Champions League, scoring big goals throughout the entire duration of the Champions League.
Thank you for your service.
Here's the thing with Raphinha this season. If there's a will, there's a way, and he will make sure that he is performing at his absolute best when it matters most. And that's the missing link with Mo Salah, because when it mattered most for Liverpool, he was pocketed by Nuno Mendes and PSG, a player that should have been a standout in this Liverpool team. And I know that that's a harsh reality to face because we love him, but it's the truth.
I don't think it's the truth.
Guys, I know I'm crazy passionate. I'm sweating here. It's actually kind of concerning, but I'm going to tell you this. There's a lot of football to be played. I do think for Raphinha to win the Ballon d'Or, Barcelona has to win the Champions League, okay? Raphinha also has to continue his form. He can't trail off. So there are factors that have to go in place for Raphinha to, at the end of the season, stand on the podium with that Ballon d'Or. But right now, all I'm saying is that he deserves to be in that #1 spot as the front runner until we get to the end of the season. But we also can't forget the season that Harry Kane's having, because he has been quietly diabolical in the best way possible. This guy's scoring like a goal per game at this point. Kylian Mbappe, who had a rough start with Real Madrid, has turned it around. He's also scoring massive goals for Real Madrid right now in La Liga, in the Champions League. If Real Madrid go on to win the Champions League and possibly La Liga, Kylian Mbappe has now really inserted himself in that conversation. Demebele. Put respect on Demebele. No player in Europe's top 5 leagues has more goals than Demebele since the start of 2025. What Dembele is doing with PSG right now, they might be the most exciting team, but he has now entered this Ballon d'Or chat. Lewandowski might get a shout, poor guy who's been robbed of a couple Ballon d'Ors in his career, but he's leading La Liga in goal scoring right now at the age of 36. Another big player for Barcelona who can put the team on his back in moments. And Lamine Yamal deserves to be in these conversations because that player is different. And whether he's assisting or he's scoring goals like the one he did against Benfica, which was absolutely insane, at the age of 17, he is easily one of the best footballers in the world right now. And considering the fact that he's 17 years old and we have the pleasure of watching his best years ahead of him, he might not win the Ballon d'Or this season. He could, but he might not. But you know that that award is his in the years to come. And I'm going to finish with this. Mo Salah can still win the Ballon d'Or. If Real Madrid don't win the Champions League, if Barcelona don't win the Champions League, Mo Salah has done so incredibly well in the Premier League, helping Liverpool, again, bulldoze the competition, that could be enough to win him the Ballon d'Or. The possibilities are endless. But I will say this, with all the names I just listed, and I'm a fan of each footballer that I just named, no one at this moment in time is ahead of Raphinha for that Ballon d'Or. He is the front runner. If the game is on the line and you need a game changer, you need an impact player, you need a goal, you need a wow moment, who's the player you're gonna call? I'll give you that answer because there's only one right now. It's Raphinha. He will answer your call and he will deliver. He's shown it through stats, he's shown it through the eyeball test, and he's shown it in matches that have literally come down to the wire.